Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Augusta University Esports broadcast. Today, we have a very special one. We have a League of Legends doubleheader. We're starting things off versus Florida Southern College, and then right after that at 5 p.m., we'll be playing Georgia College and State University. These have significant implications for the playoff seeding as we get closer to the Beach Pellet Conference Championship in Kennesaw State. It's going to be April 4th through 5th. Without further ado, let's get into the action. We are already underway in the draft here for Map 1. We got an exciting one. Give us one moment. Switch us over. All right. So you should hear a difference in the mic quality as we go here. Let's take a look at the legends that we are going to be, or champions we are going to be using here. Jinx coming out here from Augusta. Love to see that. We're definitely going to be seeing They Call Me Rex on that one. Ornn, also one of our favorites. Pantheon was used extensively in one of our earlier matchups as well. Pantheon Mel is an interesting one coming from the side of Augusta. Karma, we got Varus, Kindred, Ari, Karma, and Garen coming out from Florida Southern College. As we wait for the last pick here at Augusta University. Apologies for the kind of a late start. We were having some technical issues. Nothing too crazy, but I just want to make sure everything was on the up and up before I started showing you guys the broadcast. And it looks like we do have Nami coming out being our last one. It's having a little bit of a visual bug there, but as you can see, Nami was the one that was chosen. All right. And now we wait for the match to finally start. Exciting stuff here. Let's talk about some of the other matchups as we wait for the spectator, them to get their loadouts in and ready to go. So, unfortunately, as you can see, no Rodrigo today. Again, he's been MIA. I don't know if he'll ever come back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he will. But currently, right now, it'll just be me for the entirety of today's broadcast. So you'll have to stick with me for the next 3.5, 4 hours, however long it takes. But no, I'm really excited about our League of Legends team. They have been performing really, really well so far in the Peach Belt Conference. We've had some hiccups here and there, but last week's matchup was absolutely phenomenal. We played Huntington College, I believe, and they, they had a really, really dominant bounce back performance after losing 0-2 to Converse University. So we've had those almost a roller coaster of a season. We'll start really hot, and then we'll get swept 0-2, and then we'll bounce right back and do another 2-0. So it's kind of been that back and forth, but they've gotten more and more consistent as the season has gone on. So really excited to see that. We got some Nate love in the chat already. Obviously a fan favorite. He has been getting a ton of views on the Instagram. I've been seeing the Nate clips. Clips 1v9 as well has been doing really, really well. So hopefully we get some more highlights that we can put up on the social medias in today's maps. We got plenty of opportunity. Like I said, 2 back-to-back showings. So that'll be really, really fun to see. If the audio is too loud, let me know. I'm a little farther away from the mic, so I have the gain up just in case y'all can't hear me. When I get obviously closer to the mic during the actual in-game spectating, it'll be a lot closer. So yeah. What are we hoping to see here, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so happy that we got Jinx. Jinx is one of my favorite champions to watch, especially when They Call Me Rex is using their abilities, their kits. It's going to be pretty interesting. The Mel is going to be interesting as well as the Pantheon. I really liked the Pantheon. I forgot which. Turn it up a little bit, please, and thank you. Sure can. I think it'll get louder when I get closer, but for now here I can bring it up. All right, let me know if that's a little better. We are currently preparing the loadout, and then we're gonna have to wait another 3 minutes, obviously, for the spectator. But yeah, like I said, the Jinx is what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the Pantheon. We're probably going to see Gwen on the Ornn up in top lane. Did a really, really good job in the last match. That's good. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Orn did a phenomenal job. I believe we were playing, not Orn, Uwu was playing, I think, Mordekaiser, if I remember correctly. Either way, they were 1v1ing in the top lane and winning their battles really, really well. I think they switched to a different champion on map 2. I'm forgetting it. It was the one with the scissors. I feel so bad, but really, really high DPS on that one. Was able to tank a lot of the damage in some of the fights and set up a lot of these matches beautifully. Make sure I'm not missing any information here. We're not. So, spectator delay has started. League of Legends is one of my favorite ones to broadcast because it has a spectator delay built in, which means I can talk to you guys here in chat. Don't have to wait 3 minutes for Valorant or 5 minutes on Apex. We get that direct line-to-line communication. It's really fun to see. Yeah, back-to-back broadcasts, like I said. Florida Southern up first, then Georgia College and State University immediately after at 5 p.m. If we win both, we will secure the 3 seed going into the Peach Belt Conference Championships, which would be really, really fun for us. Put us in some really good matchups. So fingers crossed we can pull through. But regardless, I'm really excited about this matchup. They pretty much didn't ban any of our mains, is what it looks like. Don't know what the VOD review's looking like over at Florida Southern, but I think they seem pretty confident that they can stop us on our Jinx and Ornn. And I'm curious to see if they can, because we have been really, really consistent in those team fights here in some of the recent matchups. So we'll have to see. Hoping to see some good Otacon team fights again as well. That has been really where we've won a lot of our dominant matchups in those 2-0 sweeps. Sometimes we're not able to get, the Elemental Dragons, the Drakes, or even the Rift Heralds. But as soon as we're able to win that team fight with the Otacon, that little end game buff that is able to just really push us over the edge in those team fight engagements has been absolutely critical. So really hoping to see us stay consistent in that regard and take those fights when we need to. Hoping to see a little bit more maybe objective play. I know in our most recent match, even though we won 2-0, it got a little hairy there in terms of map presence. Towers not necessarily being destroyed as efficiently as potentially they could have been, but we were winning so much in the slaying department, just eliminating enemy champions, that we had such a significant gold advantage that it didn't really matter, the map presence, because we were able to just basically storm through to the Nexus once that end game started. So hopefully it's a little bit more consistent this time around, but who knows, we'll have to see. Any predictions in the chat? Any predictions, map score? I'm gonna predict a 2-0. I think this is gonna be pretty quick. Pretty quick and easy. We can get a nice snack and settle in before Georgia College and State University. No disrespect, of course, to Florida Southern. I just have supreme confidence in the Jaguars today. Don't know why, but I'm feeling good. Don't know about you all. I'm feeling good. We will go ahead and switch over to the game here as we get situated. All right, I turned the gain down just a little bit because I should be a lot closer to the mic. If I'm too loud, let me know, please, because I can adjust that really quickly with our new audio interface. The sound quality should be way better than what we had in the previous streams. We definitely got ourselves an upgrade here in the studio, which is great because that makes the clips probably sound a lot better. Let's down a little bit. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because it looks like we do have a little bit of white noise in the background there. All right. So we have Nate on the Mel. They call me Rex, obviously, on the Jinx. Envy on the Nami. Eclipse on the Pantheon. And Uwu on the Ornn. Very, very exciting stuff. And we are doing pretty much a basic lane output here. Lane distribution. Really excited to see Eclipse perform today as well. Has been one of our most consistent players on the roster throughout the season. Oh, you guys can't hear the game. Well, that would be a problem now, wouldn't it? All right. Y'all should be able to hear it nice, loud and clear now. Let me know if I need to turn up the game audio or anything like that. As we see bottom lane here, we have Mel in mid. Nate on the Mel. He played Victor last week. I was really, really excited to see that. I don't think they banned it on any matchup, and I thought he played that beautifully. Love Nate on these like long-range sniping characters. I think it really adds a lot more flexibility to the team fights. Gives him a little bit more ability to dance around, plan flanks, and assist the team when he needs to. And he's just so consistent with the aim. Yeah, at least he has been in the last two matchups. That's really given us an advantage. So here, bounce around in the early game. We have Rex and Envy at bottom. They're doing some pretty good damage here in mid lane, but they have pushed all the way up to this first blue turret right here. Need to be careful here. They're waiting for their minions to spawn. Snipe doesn't come through. I think they're just trying to last hit a minion there. Ornn coming through, taking some good damage from Garen there. So we'll do a lot of map presence. Envy misses on that ability, but they are winning this bottom lane battle here so far in terms of last hit. So let's take a look at the CS here. And it does look like Eclipse is on the right side of the jungle there. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, could be potentially setting up a flank here in mid, as Nate is going to get 2v1 here in the mid lane. Is going to be taken out. The turret damage comes through, and Eclipse should be able to punish this. Here comes the jump. Oh, and he gets charmed. Huge charmed from the Florida Southern Ahri. The Moccasins putting in some good teamwork there to get the first blood. I believe they're the Moccasins, or the Mocks. Whichever they prefer. Here we go. Uwu on the Ornn. Could be able to win this first top lane 1v1. Nice snipe there from Eclipse on the Pantheon. Able to lend a helping hand there, and they're going to trade 1-for-1 here in the early game. Game slows down a little bit here. Gold advantage is pretty much even. First dragon has spawned. That is going to be the fire dragon. Infernal, however you want to say it. Obviously it's early on, so we don't have too many wards on the mini-map as well, so information is going to be huge going forward in a lot of these potentially early game engagements. Ornn does get silenced here, so he's going to try and back up. Does have minion help and is by the turret, so should be able to survive. Good damage in from Nate here on mid lane, and we could have a 2v2 battle here on bottom. Keep poking and prodding. Oh, that AoE spin attack by Garen is just so brutal to deal with. Breaks through shield, and Eclipse almost had a little bit of a pick there in the jungle. Has to back up. There comes the ultimate from Ornn there, and that's going to be another top lane 1v1 win from Uwu. So consistent. So well done. I'm not sure why video overlay always pops up like 20 seconds after the match has started. I always find that funny. Huge stun there from the Navi. And here comes Eclipse as well. 3v2 here in the bottom lane. The snipe isn't going to come through, so Karma's going to get away with the life. And the turret's going to do so much damage. They're going to have to back away. Tower protects the Moccasins from losing any members there. Looked like a potential good push there, but they were able to get away just in time. Void Grubs are going to go the way of Florida Southern. Just a reminder, Augusta University is red team here in map 1. Florida Southern College is going to be on the blue side. Eclipse looks like trying to take the dragon himself. Gonna wait for some backup. Here we go. Uwu here. Top lane. Trying to get some map presence. Here comes the first dragon fight. Augusta University should be able to take this. Nobody in the vicinity. They do get the Infernal Drake. That's going to be the first elemental bonus taken. Give them a little bit more damage and ability power here. Good ability hit there from Uwu on the Ornn. It's going to wait for more minions, but bounces around their turret. Silence comes in there, but he's close enough to the tower that I really shouldn't be worrying. Eclipse is actually going to try and get a kill here on a Karma. Envy misses on the ability charge. Now here come the reinforcements. 3v3 here in the jungle towards bottom lane, and Eclipse is going to get taken out because of it. Nice teamwork there from the Moccasins coming in to support each other. But Nate on the Mel is able to root Ari on the rotation back. Not sure if he's going to be able to finish that kill. Nice stun there from Envy. The Blink's going to come through. Varus is going to be able to flash out of it. There we go. Pretty even. A slight gold advantage in favor of Florida Southern. Zorn is waiting in the bushes here. Misses on the initial placement of the ability. Here comes the silence. Garen putting in a lot of damage so far. Armor gets broken, and Ornn's going to have to get out of there. Huge damage coming in from Nate, but gets charmed. He's going to have to slow down the aggression. Towers are pretty healthy, both sides. A little bit more damage done on the top and bottom turret here on the side of Augusta University. But other than that, pretty much even. And Rex could be caught in a 2v1 here. Waiting for Envy to come back from spawn. Able to heal up just a little bit, and they rotate out. Eclipse is in the nearby jungle, just in case a potential gank opportunity arises. Envy's able to dodge that first ability there. Silence comes through, but the movement ability gets him back to the tower. Comes Nate. 2v1 battle here. Gets charmed, and this could be brutal. Tries to get back to the tower. But it's not going to be enough. The 2v1 comes through, and here comes Eclipse to try and punish that. The ability comes through. The charmed is so significant. Those charms from the Florida Southern Ari are so good at controlling the battle. Huge damage in there from Karma. That's going to force Rex and Envy to back up just a little bit. Still some poking and prodding coming in from both teams. Florida Southern is starting to eke out a little bit of an advantage here. 1 kill and over 1,000 gold. They've been winning a lot of these multi-player engagements. They haven't been full-on team fights just yet, obviously, as we're still in the early game. But the 1v1s have definitely gone the way of Augusta University. But those 2v2s, 3v2s, Florida Southern has been able to play their champion abilities beautifully together and win when potentially they had a significant disadvantage. Relying here on the Uwu in top lane to hold their own. Gets silence, gonna back away. Nate has been able to do so much damage, but then gets caught out in these 2v1s here in the mid lane. And it looks like it could be happening again. 3v1 here in the mid lane. Gonna be left all alone. The charms comes through, and Nate had no chance. Florida Southern continuing to bully mid lane. Top lane here, though. Ultimate comes through. Oh, isn't able to connect onto the Garen. Ubu had his sights on another kill, but instead, the advantage will stay with Florida Southern. 2,000 gold advantage and a 2-kill advantage as they roam through here this bottom lane. And here they are, 3 members of Augusta University waiting in the bushes. And the stun is huge. Eclipse is able to take the first. Jinx is unfortunately missing some of those shots. Nami gets rooted. They're trying to play these bushes. Killing spree comes in from the side of Florida Southern. Another miss from Eclipse. And now we have a 2v3. Nate is going to try and come in from mid lane here. Jinx somehow gets away, but is going to get taken out. Rex not able to do enough damage. Mel as well. Huge ability, gets the root, and is going to be able to get the kill. Huge from Nate, and Eclipse also connects. Now a 2v1. If they're able to get this final kill, that would be a huge swing in momentum. Oh, and the reinforcements come in. Nate finally able to get the shutdown. Eclipse does insane damage. Insane moves from Eclipse. Eclipse and Nate single-handedly save Augusta University in that team fight. The back and forth on their abilities were absolutely critical, and they're going to go ahead and take Dragon because of it. That completely equalizes things in terms of the gold advantage, and they're able to get the second elemental boon. Really nice stuff, and that's what we were missing in the early game. Those team fight engagements, when they were missing some of those ability usages and not able to get the advantage swung in their favor. There, Eclipse and Nate showed beautifully how they were able to recover, play the terrain, and win those fights. We get another one here. 2v1. Rex on the Jinx is able to get some significant damage, and Eclipse is going to pounce on this. The shield comes through from Kindred, and now we have a stun coming in. 3v3, an all-out brawl happening in the top jungle here. Rex gets taken out first. Oh, and this is just an all-out team fight. Eclipse is going to get shut down as well. That's 2 now in the favor of Florida Southern. Nate is able to stay alive, but it's still not what we wanted to see from Augusta University. So back and forth we go. Florida Southern definitely not shying away from these mid-game engagements. Top fight going into somewhat of the jungle. And Florida Southern will take out the first turret there in the bottom lane. Miss from the Jinx again. Rex hasn't been as consistent. Either that or Florida Southern is a little bit more used to playing a team comp like this and are able to avoid those abilities a little bit easier than some of our other opponents. Regardless, the damage that we're so used to seeing from this side has not been apparent. 0 kills so far here on map 1. Hopefully you can turn this around as we progress towards the middle of the game, passing the 16-minute mark. Rift Herald is going to go to the Florida Southern Moccasins. That's going to be a huge boost for them, and they've already taken out one of our towers. Hex gates are active, as we saw. The Hex take Drake is going to be the third one, and Rift Herald's going to be immediately spawned in. They're going to try and take out this top turret here. 2v1. Uwu is going to be left in a 3v1 with Rift Herald. That's going to be huge. But here in the bottom jungle, Rex is able to get his first kill of the map. They call me Waffle. Rift Herald is still moving. Crazy damage there on the top turret. This is giving them a huge amount of map presence here, as they're able to just march through top. Both towers are going to go down. Can Augusta University maybe capitalize on this over-aggressiveness? Eclipse is going to try and take out Carmen here. Is going to tank some of this tower damage, and they are able to get it. 3v1 there in the mid lane could give them an opportunity to retaliate. 9-9, and we continue the back and forth. This has been a very close map 1 so far. Neither team starting to pull away with it just yet. The root comes through, and Nami has to try and get away with their life. Rex, very aggressive with the damage, is somehow able to stay alive, so Eclipse is going to try and replicate that damage, but reinforcements come in. They back up. Huge stun and root from the Mel and the Nami. Augusta University are able to get 2 kills out of that before Eclipse finally gets taken out. Nicely done there. They are able to come away with the kill advantage. It was close, though. They get to a safe spot and are going to channel back as they upgrade their items. Finally have a little bit of gold to use after another teamfight win there. Ten to 11 now as we pass the 18-minute mark. Mel ready and waiting. Misses on the first ability there. He's going to wait for Enfi to come through. Nate and Enfi could be trying to get him here. Flank from top lane here, and Rex is going to get caught out all alone. We could see another team fight here. Eclipse stuns Garen. Here comes the huge damage. Uwu comes in from the top lane as well. Rex gets another kill onto Astro. Third dragon has spawned. And they're going to go ahead and try and take this. Hex take dragon will go for Augusta University unless a member of Florida Southern tries to steal, but it doesn't look like it. No members nearby. Hex take Drake. All 3 of the first elementals go to Augusta University. Ruinous Otacon has now spawned in the bottom lane. Very interesting to see how that will develop. As we see a huge jump there from Eclipse, and Enfi are able to get the kill. Charmed comes in as well. Even though the root is there, Nate continues his rampage. Double kill in for Astro as they eliminate Rex and Nate. They need to eliminate this Kindred massively. Nate is able to get the double. I don't know if Uwu will be able to kill. He does, but it will be a team ace on the side of Florida Southern, but only one member. Astro, who went absolutely insane on the Garrick on the side of Florida Southern, was able to survive. Not sure if we got exactly what we wanted out of that team fight, as every member of AU went down. We get the kill advantage, but the gold is still significantly in Florida Southern's favor, as well as the map presence. No turrets have been destroyed in a while for Augusta University, and it's now 4-2. We could have another clash here in the mid lane. The team fights have kind of been going back and forth. I'll give the slight edge to Florida Southern, but the map control really hasn't been there for Augusta University. As we do see a 2v1, Kindred's going to get caught out. The Rooted comes through, but Nami's going to have to go ahead and back up to the turret. Huge damage comes in from Drado. Emphy gets eliminated. And they're already off the back foot. Jinx is going to get flanked as well. Tower damage not going to be enough to try and replicate. Oh, nice dodge from the Ahri as Uwu is trying to get a jump there. Eclipse is going to get taken as well. Somehow stays alive, but finally he's going to get slain. Huge uproot from Ornn. Nate's trying to do damage with the Mel. Is able to get one. Uwu does go down as well. Rudy comes through. Nate might be able to get the final kill here. Does not. Flash comes through. Double kill from Nate to try and equalize things. The channel comes in. This Ahri has been a huge problem, but the Garen is even worse. Nate's going to get bobbed and weaved. A huge bait. Astro continues his unstoppable streak. Two-kill advantage and almost 4,000 gold. Augusta University has been playing on their back foot ever since mid-game. I think their only shot is going to be trying to get this Ruinous Otacon, but it does look like Florida Southern is going to try and start this team fight here. This could be huge for them. If Florida Southern is able to get this uncontested, Augusta University is going to be significantly at a disadvantage defending their Nexus. Wards come through, giving each team the information that they need. All 5 members of Augusta University here in the mid lane. Nobody's going to be able to get a flank, and they're just going to try and rush this to get some type of map presence. Here we go. They are able to finally get this blue turret. Get some nice damage on Avaris here. And they know Garen is alone. You can see the pings on the minimap. They're going to want to try and eliminate him. Astro, who is currently on an unstoppable streak, first. They are playing together. I like this from Augusta University. Consolidating all their ability usage into one location. And here we go. They've actually been able to manipulate the team enemy movement here. Now all members of Southern are in one spot rather than potentially giving them opportunities to flank. As the roots come through, they are going to focus this Garen. Is able to get a kill onto Eclipse before he goes away and survive. Insane survivability from the Garen there, but they are finally able to get the kill as the Baron spawns on the map. Uwu goes down. So 1 for 2 there in the side of Augusta University. Not what they wanted. And Florida Southern continues to show that their survivability has been a real pain in the side of the Jaguars for all of this map 1. They will take their first Elemental Dragon as they take the second Hextech Drake, excuse me. Elder Dragon will be up next. The Hex takes allow a lot faster rotations here on this version of Summoner's Rift, but interesting to see how that could potentially be used in these endgame team fights as we now are passing minute 26. Long map 1 has been back and forth. Florida Southern definitely in the driver's seat, but it could be anybody's game. Augusta University looks to be playing more of the defensive as they are completely on their side of the jungle on the map. Makes sense. 2 more towers of theirs are down. Here comes the Garen in the jungle. Eclipse needs to be careful here. Eclipse has not been able to perform maybe as effectively as he has on the flanks as he normally does. And Nate looks like could be getting caught out here in top lane. Oh, Rex tried to get a snipe on the Jinx there. Three members of the Moccasins here in mid lane. They need to be careful. Garen, Astra has just been an absolute menace on the map here since the mid game. Here we go. A stun comes in, and they are going to try and eliminate him first. They are able to do it. Huge. That takes out a big power player on the side of Florida Southern for Augusta University. Mel gets charmed, but Nate's able to still do some damage. The Rooted and Airborne comes through. Kindred's still able to stay alive. Finally, he's going to get eliminated. Rex and Empy want this kill on a Karma, and they are going to get it. Huge kill from Rex. The first big significant team fight in favor of Augusta University in the last almost 5 minutes of gameplay, and they're actually using this to push the Baron. This could be massive. Baron team fight coming in. Florida Southern are going to let him have it. You see the rest of the members channel back to their fountain. Baron buff comes in for Augusta University, and ladies and gentlemen, we are right back to square one. 22-22 and only a 2,000 gold advantage. Here come the last buys here on the side of the Jaguars, as they are now going to try and push and get this map presence with the Baron buff. Remember, Otacon is still in bottom jungle. Neither team has tried to make a push for it. We could see Florida Southern making their way down there now. In response to AU getting the Baron, Eclipse could have 1v1 opportunity. Huge charm, and he's going to immediately have to back out of that. Great ability usage there from Toji's back on the side of FSC. Looks like Augusta University is just waiting for some type of reaction on the side of FSC. Now that they have this Baron buff, I think they're a little bit more confident in playing conservative. They had to be a little bit desperate there in that first team fight there in mid that got them to this point. 1v1 here, Ari versus the Ornn in top lane. And UU has been so effective at singling out members of opponents' teams. Make sure they are not able to engage in those team fights when they need to set up these flanks. Oh, the charms are just so brutal from the Ahri. They have been on target all map long and have been able to manipulate the team fights incredibly. 5th dragon has spawned here. So it looks like we are going to have a heavy push here towards the mid lane. In fact, even UU is coming out from top to try and assist with this. Here they go. They're taking the fight to the jungle. Not sure if they're trying to direct them over to the ruinous Otacon. Potentially win the team fight and then take the fight. They start the fight. They proc it onto the dragon, excuse me, not on the Otacon. This is going to be a huge team fight here. Here we go. Augusta is able to take the Drake and the abilities come through. The root comes in. Emphy gets taken out first, but not before Rex is able to finally get the Astro again. Huge damage. Huge airborne from Ornn. Ooh, is able to do some huge damage, but Rex going down is going to be massive for them. And Nate not able to really put forth the damage that they needed there in that initial team fight. Somehow able to get the kill. Insane killing spree from Nate, but it will be taken out and shut down. Team Ace on the side of Florida Southern, as 2 members of Florida Southern are able to survive. So the Baron buff doesn't get used to its full effectiveness. Florida Southern able to stabilize. And I really think we're going to have to see who gets this Otacon buff before we finally see one of these sides give. 32 minutes now here on map 1. One of the most even maps we've seen so far on the broadcast all season long. Do a quick tab check here. Yeah, usually our leading kill leader Rex, only 4 kills so far here in map 1 and 11 deaths. Nate and Eclipse 10 and 7 themselves, but still have not been able to dominate the team fight engagements as we are so used to them doing. And it does look like they are going to try and start this Otacon fight. All 5 members of Augusta University jumping in on this. And they do need to be careful here, as we could have a pinch coming in from bottom and mid lane. But they're going to be able to get it uncontested. Here comes the channels, as they're going to try and head right back to the Nexus, as Florida Southern has made their way all the way to the final towers. Nate and Envy are actually able to get some damage here on the Florida Southern Garen. Red inhibitor gets taken out. The map presence is just massive for Florida Southern, but if they can get this kill, the 2v1 comes through. Nate gets the kill on Astro. Now here comes the team fight here at their Nexus. Eclipse does get taken out. The Charmed comes through as well. Huge damage from the Kindred. Nate's finally going to be able to take him out, though. Even things up again in the kill department. The Otacon buff hopefully allowing them to stabilize, but they are on their last forces of defense here. They need to start pushing down one of these lanes and restricting Florida Southern's movement. 4 members are dead for at least the next 20 seconds. We'll have to see if Augusta is able to make anything come out of that. Baron has spawned yet again. The Otacon buff really hasn't allowed them to do too much. Been playing conservative, and they have to. Their Nexus is way more exposed currently than Florida Southern's. Here in top jungle, all 5 members of the Jaguars are consolidating as they're going to get ready for this team fight. Here we go. This could be the final push here on the Nexus. Huge damage coming in from the side of Augusta University. They're able to get Karma and Astro, but not before Eclipse gets taken out themselves. They are able to get Astro. Kindred does go on a double kill, but it doesn't matter. 3 members of Augusta University are able to stay alive. 4 members of Florida Southern are dead, and here comes the push. Last tower dead. Here comes the inhibitor. This is going to be a 3-man push. Are they going to be able to get it done? Kindred's going to be the last line of defense as the rest of Florida Southern are in the respawn. Team Ace on the side of Rex, and he has come alive right when Augusta University have needed it. Final towers are finally down, and they're not going to be able to get back in time. Nate does get rooted, gets taken out, but not before Uwu is able to take out the last Nexus. GG's to Florida Southern. A back and forth game. It was close the entire way through. A 36-minute brawl where Augusta University comes out on top. Insane stuff. We'd love to see it. It does look like we are going to be switching sides. That's GG's to Florida Southern as Augusta University takes map 1. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a close one. I'm going to turn up the gain since I'm a little farther away from the mic here, but man, I mean, Florida Southern had the advantage for pretty much 90% of that match. Ever since mid-game, they were winning a lot of those multi-player engagements. But that was a beautiful decision to finally push towards mid there in the last 2 minutes from Augusta University. They pushed the player advantage that they had, and yeah, they locked in. I mean, I couldn't say it any better than myself. I can't believe that was a 3 champion push there towards the enemy nexus, and they were still able to pull it out. Great stuff. Great stuff. Not as big of a, I guess, slaying advantage that we're used to seeing. That was very, very close. You know, Rex was definitely struggling, I think, to land those big ability damage outputs that we're so used to seeing from him. But that last team fight that he had, I mean, it went completely insane. He got the team ace to finish that fight and push towards the Nexus. Inhibitors went down, and even though we had no map control, no map presence for a lot of that mid to end game, I mean, they had 2 more towers and an inhibitor already taken out on the side of Florida Southern before they even made their way over. Just a really good comeback, to be honest with you. I mean, they came back from a 2,000 plus gold deficit in almost 3 kills. Just really, really good stuff to see. We are going to be getting into the draft here in a little bit for map 2. We are going to take a quick intermission, I believe, just to sort out everything. But when we come back, we will get into the champion draft and see if we can finish out the 2-0 sweep versus Florida Southern, as I predicted here in map 2. We'll be right back. All right. We are back here on the first draft. Get a little closer to the mic here. And we are going to see the Mel and Pantheon get banned from Florida Southern. So they were not a fan of the ability usage there. I always take that as a compliment, in my opinion, whenever we see the enemy team ban one of our champions. It definitely goes to show that they thought we did a pretty good job on it. So I'll take that. Gwen coming in. That's who it was last week. We played as Gwen, and we did a really, really good job. I believe that was Uwu as well in top lane. I like the Gwen pick. Have to see. I'm surprised they didn't ban Jinx. I guess Rex didn't go too crazy with it. We see another Viego. We saw that last week in our matchup. That was an interesting one for sure. But yeah, pretty much the only people singled out was going to be Nate, who Nate was doing some really good damage there with the Mel. Wasn't as effective, I think, as the Victor last week, but was able to really manipulate those team fights. Really, I was so impressed by the Florida Southern Ahri. That charmed ability was so brutal in a lot of the in-game fights. And there it is. I'm surprised we didn't ban it. It's going to come right back. I don't blame them. Ahri was really, really beneficial in a lot of their early mid-game fights. Oh, yes, we have a Nocturne. Oh, Eclipse on the Nocturne is a sight to behold. Some of my favorite clips that we've been able to post on the channel has come from Eclipse 1v9's Nocturne gameplay earlier this semester. That's going to be really, really fun to watch. Hopefully we see a little bit more slaying come through. He wasn't able to get through, I think, as many ganks or flanks as he wanted to last map. But last map was just so close. It was so back and forth. There really wasn't. It was anybody's game until that last 5 minutes, basically. And we do see the Jinx get banned. So maybe we see a Misfortune come in on the side of Augusta University. Rex was very, very effective with Misfortune in one of our earlier matchups as a replacement after Jinx got banned. Wouldn't be surprised to see that again. As we do see a Caitlyn get banned on the side of Augusta University. I'll tell you what, we are making good time here to have a nice little snack break before our next matchup versus Georgia College and State University later tonight at 5 p.m. Last ban does come through. We're going to get our final champion picks here. Ooh, Ash. Could be a very interesting damage dealer on the side of Florida Southern. The 1v1s, like I said, weren't as effective. That's probably just because of how Augusta decided to pick and choose their fights and their engagements. I was really, really impressed with the way Augusta was able to manipulate Florida Southern's movements there in the mid-game. Really did a phenomenal job of setting up the battlefield how they wanted to. Manipulating them to go towards the jungle or funnel them towards a specific lane by bobbing and weaving, consolidating all 5 members of Augusta University to kind of make themselves look like an appealing target. Sometimes they weren't able to fully execute on it, but when they did, it was really, 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 really impressive. As we see the last 2 picks from the Jaguars, Ezreal and Karma. I'll tell you what, this is an aggressive comp that we're seeing on the side of AU. Sona will be the last pick off of Florida Southern. And there we have it, our finished draft. And here we go. Map 2 will now be underway. We're going to do a quick intermission as I go check on something. And when we come back, Map 2 will be begun. And we will see if Augusta University can finish the 2-0 sweep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jaguar fans, we are back into the action. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift here in Map 2, where AU will be looking to try and close things out here versus Florida Southern. And what is this? We have 5 members of Augusta University in the enemy jungle. Can't tell if they're just placing wards. Or not, or are they trying to do some early fights? I don't believe so. I think they were just getting information. That would have been incredibly aggressive. I was like, what? But no. No early game heroics here. Just some nice, clean League of Legends. Right? People say that. League of Legends is nice and fair and not rage-inducing at all. As we are going to see, we did switch sides, so Augusta University will be the blue team on the blue side of the map. Florida Southern will be the red team on the top side of your map. We do see Nate on the Orianna, Rex on the, I think, Eclipse obviously on the Nocturne, Uwu on the Gwen, and Emphy on the Karma. Ezreal, Rex on the Ezreal. And the Ari for Florida Southern is back. Probably one of the least favorite champions I've seen us play against. That Charmed is brutal to play around. It's able to do so much in the team fights. So if you remember from map 1, This game was very back and forth. Neither team really giving an inch till that last final push. And we do see this could be a 2v2 here in the mid lane. Nocturne does get charmed, so Eclipse again having to be slowed down by this Ahri. Is able to get the huge stun. Eclipse is able to get the kill, but it's an immediate trade. Nate on the Orianna is trying to get some damage done, but I think will unfortunately lose them in the jungle. Envy on the Karma here getting caught in a 2v1 in bottom lane before Rex on the Ezreal was able to come back. Good damage onto the Ashe from Envy. I'm a big fan of Ubu playing the Gwen here in top lane. It's a little bit more damage than some of the other champions that they've used in top lane. And I think it really, really helps us in those endgame team fights when the loadout has been full bot. Just so much damage output and control in the team fights. Love to see it. Love to see it. It's just a little bit more DPS than what we're used to from some of the top lane rather than a tank. This Ahri has now taken the mid lane a little bit from Nate. Nate is on a little bit of a higher level, so CS has probably been a little bit better. Gonna be curious to see here if Augusta University decides to be a little bit more aggressive here in map 2 compared to map 1. And they kind of got a little bit behind in some of these early fights. And then had to make basically a heroic comeback. Really nice strategic play there to win map 1. Coming here, Gwen is going to get 2v1 there in the top lane. Not much they're going to be able to do about that, but Nate is winning a huge fight versus the Ahri in mid. Our bottom lane has been able to push all the way back to this first tower. Really, really good stuff. And with that push, they're able to go in and get the first dragon. Do see there's still 2 members of Florida Southern there in the top lane, so Uwu needs to be careful here as Virgo's just ready and waiting for the gank. And it's going to come through probably immediately, yep. And they're just bullying this top lane. I don't know if somehow Uwu was able to get back to tower. Preserve their life. Great stuff out of them. But I would love to see maybe Eclipse come in on the Nocturne, potentially punish this 2v1 strategy up in top. We'll see that a little bit later. Void Grubs, looks like all 3 members here of AU in the top jungle are going to try and get that. They are going to be able to get the Void Grubs. First little buff for them in addition to the first dragon. And these neutral objectives have been very, very critical for the Jaguars. They were able to get the Baron and the Otacon and 3 dragons as opposed to Florida Southern's 1. So even though Florida Southern had a lot of map presence, was able to take out a little bit more turrets, or towers, excuse me, before Augusta University could, they were really losing a lot of those neutral objectives that gave AU, I think, a slight edge in those final endgame fights. I wonder if they'll make it more of a priority. It was sneaky 2v1 here from Florida Southern, and they continue to just bully this top lane. They are really sticking together and wanting to isolate members of Augusta University. This could be in response to, like I mentioned, they lost a lot of those initial 1v1s in their early game in map 1. So now they're not even trying to 1v1. They're trying to put 2 bodies anytime they're going to start an engagement. That has really set UU on the Gwen behind in terms of CS there in the top lane versus their Malphite. Astra, who went huge last game as the Garen champion. Some more poking and prodding. Early game. I mean, Florida Southern does have a little bit of an advantage in the kill department. You know, they've gotten 2 isolated kills, but the gold is pretty much even. Only about 500 or so being a difference here. We could finally see a 2v1. Huge damage there from Rex on the Ezreal. Him and Envy on the Karma are such a good duo in bottom lane. They've been so consistent in being able to manage what they do, and it does look like we're finally going to gank come in from Eclipse here in the top lane. But the Viego from Florida Southern is not too far behind, and he's going to be the one that gets pinched. It's going to be up to Gwen to try and keep him alive, but it's not going to be enough. Eclipse goes down. Huge 2v2 win there, and they're going to be able to get both kills. Insane double kill from Dorito on the Viego champion. And they played that beautifully. Eclipse thought he had a easy 2v1 gank there, but Viego was ready and waiting in the jungle. Read it beautifully, and that's going to be a 4-kill advantage now for Florida Southern. And 2,000 gold. That's definitely going to start swinging this item differential as we pass the 10-minute mark. On the Karma, clearing out some wards. I'd love to see more output from Nate. I think this game was able to do some solid damage last map, and I believe led the team in kills. But with how the strategy, with how Florida Southern has readjusted and really emphasizing these 2v1 engagements, I really need to see Augusta University maybe react to that, play more together. So we do see we are going to get the Void Grubs again. As it does look like Florida Southern had 3 members on the next Elemental Drake. Hex Gates again. 2 Summoner's Rifts in a row. Interesting. I think that's the first time we've had the same elemental buff spawn in back-to-back maps. Oh, huge hit there. Who was able to know? And that's 2 members of Florida Southern here in this bottom lane. We could see a first skirmish here, but they have a 3rd member ready and waiting in bottom as well. So Augusta needs more members here in this bottom lane if they want to try and push this pressure. Good damage coming in from Gwen, but they are getting very close to the FSC tower. Gets sent airborne, and that could be it. Yeah, Astro played that really well. Baited as long as he could before finally dishing out the ability that gave him the advantage. One of the rare 1v1 losses we've seen so far from UU, as Florida Southern pushes their kill advantage by 5. Or 2-5, excuse me. Huge stun coming in, and Carver's going to get caught out immediately. Rex on the Ezreal is going to have to wait by the tower, and that's another 4v2 engagement. So many bodies from Florida Southern. They are rotating this really, really effectively, making sure that nobody is caught alone. 6 kills now going the way of Florida Southern, and almost a over 2,000 gold advantage as we pass the 12-minute mark. Now, the advantage was never this large in map 1, but we did kind of see a similar pattern where Florida Southern was winning a lot of these early fights and getting way more map presence, but weren't able to come away with the win. Yeah, the kills have just not been coming through from Augusta University. They've been getting caught out on rotation or caught out in player disadvantage numbers. We really need to see some just straight up team fight wins for them to start gaining some momentum. Looks like they are going to start to push this bottom lane turret here. Envy and Rex. And Rex gets stunned, and this is going to be a 3v2. They need to be careful here. They're just trying to bob back and forth to try and get as much damage on there as well. As we get another 2v1 in top lane. Viego has been absolutely brutal on these ganks. Gwen hasn't been able to do anything about it. No help from Eclipse in that regard. Instead, he's going to come down into bottom lane here as they want to push this turret. Good damage, and Eclipse is able to get a huge kill on Asona here. Rex gets the final hit onto the They Call Me Waffle as well. Nate as well shuts down the Ahri. Quick 3 kills from the side of Augusta University. And we are finally seeing that momentum that we needed to. Items will be purchased now as they finally got an influx of gold. Almost basically equalized the deficit there. So even though they've lost 4 other deaths, they've basically been early game deaths and haven't done. This Viego has been absolutely brutal. Eclipse is not going to be able to get away. Gets stunned, gets killed. And now they have their own Nocturne. Excuse me, that was Viego's ability, copying it. Able to use some of their abilities. And he has been on fire this match. How many kills does he have already? 5 kills already for Dorito on the Viego. Here we go. First mid-game team fight here. Dorito continues his domination. Completely eliminates Nate from the fight before it could even begin. Rex and Empy are going to go down just as fast. Nocturne is going to get stunned. Tries to get towards the safety of the tower. Is going to be able to get there. Rex somehow able to survive as well. This is going to be huge map presence, though, for Florida Southern, as they're going to be able to take down a ton of health on these towers. Next turret down. With that, they're going to go ahead and push the Elemental Drake. They're going to be able to get this second buff pretty much without contest. Rift Herald is out, and it does look like Augusta wants to try and take advantage of it to try and make up for some of the damage that they haven't been able to do on the objective. But Florida Southern has noticed this, and they're trying to consolidate everybody here to defend it, and they want to take it themselves. Pings coming through on the map. Florida Southern positions are known, and they're actually going to go ahead and take it. Augusta University is going to give this up. At first, it looks like they wanted to take Rift Herald, but they know that the level disadvantages are just too great to overcome. They're not going to be able to win that fight, so Rift Herald goes the way of Florida Southern. I wonder if they're going to instantly use it. They did the same thing in map 1, and they pushed all the way through top lane with it as soon as they were able to get it. Nice dodge from Enfi there. Dodges the Ash ability. He knew that they knew that he was in there in the bushes based on the ward and the pings. So waiting to the last possible second to dodge that ability. Some more leveling finally coming through for Augusta University. About a 3,000 gold advantage so far for Florida Southern here in map 2. Uwu is going to be taken out in a 2v1 here in top lane. Viego continues to bully that and has not been punished for it whatsoever. Free kills as they just continue to put 2 in top. Rift Herald comes out, and they're going to be able to get this blue turret on bottom lane. Excuse me. Yeah, blue turret on bottom lane taken out. It's going to go ahead and do a ton of damage here onto this next turret. They're going to channel back, let it do its thing while they get more items and heal up for the next team engagement. Otacon has spawned in top this time. Nate was able to kill the Rift Herald there in bottom, so the turret is still alive, but just barely. Nice dodge from Uwu there on the Gwen. We are looking at an 8-kill advantage right now for Florida Southern, but only about 4,000 gold, which is pretty significant. They have way more map presence as well, as only one turret has been destroyed on their side in bottom lane. We are going to see a mid lane push here. Eclipse finally able to get some damage with the Nocturne. He gets the first kill and is going to be able to root the Viego. They are finally able to shut him down, but it's going to come at great cost as all the other members of Augusta University are go down. Florida Southern do not let AU get away with it. Double kill on the side of Ari for Florida Southern. And 4 members of Augusta waiting at the fountain to come back in. They definitely did not win that fight. And that's gonna, because they're in the respawn now for so long, they're gonna be able to get this mid turret no problem. 10 kill advantage now. Over 5,000 gold for Florida Southern. The Moccasins. Next dragon has spawned, and it looks like they want to fight for it. Here come all 5 members of Augusta. Billy's dodge come through. Huge airborne. That's going to be huge stuff. Nate is able to finally take out first. Double kill therein for Rex as well. Make that a triple. As Eclipse shuts down the last one, and they're going to be able to take this Drake. The first team fight win of the map for Augusta University. And they needed that one. Otherwise, this advantage was going to get ugly. But now, they've been able to recover a little bit. They got the Hextech Dragon buff. And now they're going to push all the way up to the Ruinous Otacon. They want this Otacon team buff. I really like this play from AU. Uwu still holding their own here in bottom lane versus the Ahri. And the fact that the Ahri will not be involved in this team fight if Florida Southern decides to challenge this, which it does look like they are, that's going to be huge. No Ahri charms to manipulate these team fight engagements. They are able to get the Voracious Otacon. Huge work from Augusta. They're going to channel back, buy the items that they need for their loadout, and they're going to come out swinging here to try and establish more of that map presence. Ruinous Otacon buff in hand. It does look like they are splitting 3-2 here in bottom lane. Uwu's going to come out. Back to the fountain. Where does Augusta University want to push this? Looks like they're just going straight up mid. Yep, they are going to go ahead and start just pushing these mid turrets here. 4 members from Florida Southern are starting to converge. Next team engagement will be coming through. I just realized we had Elixirs in the chat, a Kennesaw State GOAT on the Apex roster. Congratulations to Kennesaw State University for winning back-to-back semesters of the Octane Collegiate. Huge stuff from them, really impressive. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast, supporting. As this team fight has been back and forth, Uwu on the Glen finally able to get the first kill. Might be able to get the Viego as well, but no, will be punished. Gets withdrawn. Nate on the Orianna is going to be left all alone as well. 3v1, somehow able to stay alive, gets withdrawn again. So the deaths don't come through with the Ruinous Otacon buff. They were able to basically preserve that advantage. And all 5 members of Augusta University are back. And it looks like they're going to do the Baron fight again. They were able to get the Baron last map as well. Florida Southern didn't even contest them. This time it looks like they will. They don't want to repeat. But are they going to be able to get there in time? Stun comes through. They could be trying to get a steal here. Nocturne tries to jump here. Gets charmed, and that Ahri, like I said, does so much for the team fight. Rex on the Ezreal is able to get a kill. Continuous killing spree. Uwu on the Gwen. It deals out some insane damage to the Viego. Here comes Eclipse on the Nocturne. Sends them fleeing and is able to get the kill. Double kill from Nate on the Orianna as well. And that is going to be a team ace for Augusta University. Absolutely massive team fight win. They're able to eliminate all members of Florida Southern and will be able to get the Baron buff. That was played absolutely beautifully. Couldn't have gone any member. I have 0 members of AU even went down. They've completely equalized the kill deficit. They now have a 3,000 gold or so lead and the Baron buff. What a mid-game comeback. Endgame now. We're past minute 26. And Florida Southern has been sent reeling after having a dominant early game. Looks like we are going to see the next team engagement here in mid lane. This has been where AU has wanted to push. They try and manipulate them over to the right jungle. Huge ability usage from Nocturne there. Eclipse does get taken out though after he gets charmed, but it won't matter. The Rooted comes in. Gwen, Orianna are able to connect for another double kill. Viego getting eliminated as well. 4 members of Florida Southern go down. They call me Waffle, the only one left alive, and he's going to have to retreat to the last remaining mid lane turret. Rex on the Ezreal here is going to still be able to deal some damage and gets the kill as well. What a last hit. Team Ace comes in again. Back-to-back aces for Augusta University. They're going to be able to get the dragon, and this should allow them to get a ton of damage on whichever turret they decide to push. They're actually going to be pushing both. They're going to push Rex here alone in the mid lane. They're going to have 2 members push bottom lane. They are regaining so much momentum. Yes, I agree, low-level Jester. This Orianna Nocturne combo has absolutely come alive here in map 2. We've seen Nocturne be very effective for Augusta University, but this is the first time I think they've used Orianna with Nocturne in a match, at least on broadcast. And it has started to really swing these endgame fights in their favor. 5,000 gold advantage now. 4 kills in their favor as well. And they're going to push this fight in the jungle. And they're just stealing these buffs. They're not letting Florida Southern have any room to breathe. Here comes the Nocturne. Brings in the ultimate there. Does get slain. Huge kill. Viego's able to finally shut down Eclipse on the Nocturne. But ooh, on the Gwen cannot be stopped. The DPS is absolutely massive. Nate on the Orianna and Rex on the Ezreal continue their domination. Two members of Florida Southern left alive, and they are reeling. The Ahri has basically been nullified in these team fights thanks to the Nocturne. Oh, huge stun there from the Viego. And ooh, needs to be careful here. Here comes the Orianna. Could be caught out here alone in mid lane, and he will be. They unfortunately got split up there in the jungle. So Nate will finally get shut down by the Viego. But Augusta University is going to take that team fight win all the time. Just bullying them in their own jungle. All members of Florida Southern are pushing through this mid lane, except for Astro pushing up top. Meanwhile, almost every member of Augusta University is in bottom. It looks like they know that they're coming. They lie ready and waiting. The Viego is on the move, hunting for his next kill. Drado on the Viego was absolutely dominant last map, but wasn't able to come away with the victory, even with a lot of those early game kills. All of AU was able to just channel back. This is when they slow it down, they play conservative. This is where the strategy really comes in. The Jaguars love to be able to dictate the pacing in these endgame fights. They like to choose when and where the fight takes place. They feel a lot more comfortable when they're able to start the engagement. And their ward placement has been huge in being able to give them the information necessary to set that up. Here we go, though. Gwen. Uwu left all alone in top lane. 3 members of a Florida Southern there to get the kill. They are able to escape, and because of that, 4 members of Augusta University have pushed through mid lane. The channels comes through, but they might be too late. Inhibitor goes down, and they're just going to get out of there as soon as they're able to get that inhibitor. What a beautiful bait and switch, and that is exactly what I was referring to when we talk about manipulating enemy movement. They left Gwen all alone, ISO'd them in the top lane, used it as bait. They fell for it, and they were able to push through mid lane and get even more map control because of it. Huge team fight comes in. Here comes the Nocturne ability again. Emphy on a killing spree. Gwen is able to shut one down as well. Astro on the Malphite goes down, and that's going to be a huge team fight win for Augusta University. Three members of Florida Southern down. The last remaining two trying to make their way to escape through their own jungle. "12 kills from Florida Southern's Viego. And it is barely even showing up on the stat sheet, as Augusta University now has, what is that, almost an 8,000 gold advantage. Rex might be able to get the double here. Oh, just misses as the blink comes through from Ash. He's still able to get it, though. Rex will not be denied the double kill, and that could be it. That's a team ace coming in. Florida Southern's Revenant will be able to spawn in, but it will be too little too late. All 5 members of Augusta University are going to be able to immediately eliminate them off of spawn, and the Nexus fully exposed. GG's. Florida Southern College. Augusta University completes the 2-0 sweep, and we are rolling into the next match. Eclipse saying best win of the season. It just might be. It just might be. I mean, that was, whew. That first map was anybody's game. It was so close until that final, about, like I said, 2 to 5 minutes. They really came alive in the slaying department. The strategy was really close there. This game as well was at a significant early game disadvantage. They were just getting bullied in top lane with a lot of these 2v1 engagements, but it didn't matter. Mid-game, they turned it on, was able to get all of the important neutral objectives like the Baron and the Otacon and come away with it. They lost the Rift Herald both maps, which gave up a lot of initial map pressure, but it really didn't matter by the end of it. Their slaying potential, once they got to those end-game team fights, was just too great. Eclipse 1v9 on the Nocturne, again, a masterclass at manipulating the team fights. Nate Striker on the Orianna as well, dealing a ton of damage. Obviously, we can't forget Rex on the Ezreal, getting double kills basically whenever he wanted. Really, really good stuff. GG's to everybody at Florida Southern. And we will be going on a little bit of a break, as our next match doesn't start for another hour or so. But we will be back right here on this channel at 5 p.m. to play against Georgia College and State University, the Bobcats. One more win, and we secure ourselves as the 3 seed in the Peach Belt Conference Championships over in Kennesaw State, April 4th through 5th. Will be the first LAN event of the semester. Very, very excited to see what we can do there in the playoffs. But yeah, GG's to everybody involved. Really well played from Augusta University League of Legends as they continue their hot streak. That's 2 in a row now. Let's make it 3 to finish this season. I've been your host, Noah Bowers, and I'll be right back not too long from now. Get a snack, get a drink, stay hydrated, and come back for some more League of Legends action. We'll be back. See ya.